All right, so this is going to be my attempt to save people maybe even tens of dollars. Okay? And that is just a few ways to not waste money, kind of how I have wasted money. And it's a multifaceted problem. Uh the first problem is sometimes, to be perfectly honest, it is funner looking for books to improve on chess than it is to read those books on improving in chess. I said it. There's my hot take. Sometimes I don't want to go through the game annotations and I just want to read titles and imagine how good it's going to make me at chess. Um, that's one of my vices, if you will. So, but that doesn't. That's for a little bit later. And then the first tip is going to be don't buy stuff on tilt. If you get smashed off the board with the Ruy Lopez, don't go out and buy the original Arcangelisk book because you're like, I hate the Ruy Lopez and I always struggle against it. Don't do it. Put it in. If it's on sale, put it in your cart and wait like 2 days. Okay? Because, and this is why this is a waste of money. Yes, I now have a book about how to take control of the Ruy Lopez's black. Cool. At the same time, I was actively waiting for this Accelerated Dragon course to go on sale. So I'm already planning on not playing against the Ruy Lopez for, let's say, the foreseeable future. So I don't need this book, right? And it's just going to sit here. And the unfortunate part is, like, part 2 of this is figure out your website's return policies. Forward Chess doesn't really have one that I've been able to find. And when you Google it, it says they don't have one. So, oops. I now have not a useless book. Maybe one day I will, like, study it and start, like, going into it. But going against the Ruy Lopez is fairly... I'm not a top-level chess player. I am not a very good chess player. So this doesn't mean a lot for me. So there it is. If you get... Today I got smashed off the board facing the Italian. Don't go to Chessable and click beating the Italian and buy a Chessable course so that you can beat the Italian, right? Especially, like, just let it sit for a few days is kind of what I'm saying. Let it sit in the cart. Especially if your plan is to not have to play against the Italian because you're going to go for, like, the Sicilian or something like that. Just have two thoughts that connect. Unlike me, whose brain cells actually don't connect to anything and they all fire individually. So that's tip 1. Conflicting books are goofy. And then 2 is, like, don't... let chess, I guess, be its own experience and try not to engage with it when in a super hurry. Okay? And what I mean is, I accidentally bought Starting Out E4, which is why I know what Forward Chess's return policy is, because I read Back to Basics Chess Openings, which was pretty cool, pretty good. It talks about, like, you know, recommendations for finding opening books, points of openings. Like, it's to be perfectly honest, I really enjoyed this book. I read almost all of it fairly quickly. And in it, it talks about the Starting Out series. Cool. But to backtrack a little bit, why I even got interested in openings, because I don't really study them, and now I have a bunch of opening books. Nice. Is I started doing this course called the Morphy Study on Lichess. It's amazing. It's free. If you haven't looked it up, go look it up by Nose Knows All. It is massive and amazing. In this course, though, Morphy plays a bunch of Evans Gambits. And I was really enjoying the course. I started, like, playing the Evans Gambit a little bit in my games and really enjoying it. Even so far as to getting the Evans Gambit course. Which, as you can see, I haven't done a lot of because I actually have a bone to pick with the Evans Gambit course, to be perfectly honest, and a little bit with the Accelerated Dragon, but that's a different video, and I have to get through enough of my Benko Gambit repertoire to see if I have the same issue there. Actually, it's a few of these, and I'm going to probably pick out an example from the Healthy Opening Habits starting out and the Gambit, just because it's kind of the same issue, which it's a different video. Don't get distracted. Anyway, I'm learning to play the Evans Gambit. The problem with the Evans Gambit is, if you look here, C5, which is how you go into the Evans Gambit, by the way. Let's see. It's here. So this is the Evans Gambit. Okay, and to be perfectly honest, that's a spicy little move. I had no idea that was there, because if they take, you just straight up sack your piece. And you're kind of in a winning situation. Kind of. And I've won games like this, right? This move here, where you castle here, at my level, is dirty. Dirty. People don't do it. They're like, what the heck? Free pawn? Heck yeah. But if you go back here, knight f3, this is not by much. So I'm trying to do the Evans Gambit, yet I keep running into this situation, and I don't know what to do here. I don't really know what the plan is. I'm uncomfortable with the situation, and yada yada. So I decide, okay, well, I need to study the Italian a little bit just so I can have an overview. What do? I scurry over to Forward Chess, find a Winning with the Slow but Venomous Italian on sale, and I grab it up. Yum, 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 yum. Cool. This is not a book that is at my level. Okay, this is slightly over it. I need more of a breakdown of why certain moves are good or bad or whatever. These long lines, as obvious as they might be, sometimes I need to know, why are we taking, and I can probably figure it out if I sit and analyze it and yada yada, but these long lines are, I struggle with them, and I will sit here in these positions being like, knight takes e5, okay. Oh, but they pushed, so now I'm trying to figure out kind of the theory, and really I just kind of need this is what they were thinking or whatever. So this book's a little advanced for me. Back to Basics Chess Openings talks about finding a good beginner book on openings, and the Starting Out series is that. Now, the point of the story of not speeding up is there is a Starting Out e4, e5 that has the Italian game, that has the Evans Gambit, that has all the stuff that I wanted. But I was in so much of a hurry that day, and I wasn't allowing chess to kind of be its own thing, that I went and got Starting Out e4. And this doesn't deal with the Italian. This does the Scotch. A completely different opening. So now, I either wasted money here, I either wasted this money, or now I've kind of wasted my Italian book and the Evans Gambit book, and the Evans Gambit Chessable course. So now I get to choose. Well, where did I waste my money? Because you can't return books. And so this is the frustration, right? This is the saving of tens of dollars of allow chess to be its own thing. Allow chess to exist. And what happened was I was going to the store and I was like, oh, let me just get this book real fast. Type out Starting Out e4. I see this book and I don't realize that it's not the e4, e5 because the covers are fairly similar. Here, let's see if we can find it. Similar enough. Oops. Let's see. Starting out d4. Starting out the Sicilian. It's here somewhere. Whatever. I should have pulled it up earlier, but it's here. It's a fairly similar looking title. Enough similar that my dumbness bought it. And so there's the second one. Don't do chess stuff, especially spending money when you're in a hurry and you're like, okay, let me get this because, and I think I was wanting to like read it on the road or something. And then here I read, we're recommending the Scotch. Now, granted, this book is great. I've actually really enjoyed it. But I'm absolutely wasted some money on it. So yeah, there's my tips. Okay. Don't buy stuff on tilt. Put it in the cart, let it sit for a few days, and then just slow down. Slow down and figure out what you want to do. I knew that I wanted to do the Italian because I wanted to do the Evans Gambit because I was enjoying playing like that like sharp Morphy-esque Italian stuff. So, but I was moving too fast, kind of for my own good, and decided and ended up wasting a bit of money. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. These are my two tips in about 10 minutes. So these 10 minutes can save you maybe tens of dollars.